Welcome to another gadget report, and let's talk gadgets. Let's go. And this week I will be doing a very personal analysis of what's in store for aviation in 2023. I leave a challenge to myself, and I will challenge myself to revisit this video at the end of the year and um, confirm or not what I have said today. So expect on the last or on the first week of December, the thematics of the video will be revisiting this one and making another analysis. Was I right or not? So let's go. Let's talk gadgets. So let's talk about 2023 for aviation. And we all know that the last 2 years have been very disruptive for the sector. Basically, everything stopped during the pandemic. A lot of borders were closed, including Australia's. And of course, airlines had to be grounded. They could not fly, or there was very limited flights because obviously there were always the repatriation flights in some countries like Australia, and obviously some flights would go, but uh, obviously tourism and things like that, which is the main source of income for airlines, was completely stopped. Last year, things started slowly coming back. However, as we all know, pricing is extremely high. And one of the things that I have heard from many people during the past few months and over the course of last year is that the price of the flights were extremely high, and in some cases preventing them from flying. I had lots of people that were eager to go on a holiday and they chose not to because the price of a flight was too high. I have friends that spend $14,000 in a trip from Australia to Portugal. So this is way above of the regular price for that flight. So, and this is obviously for two people, but it was way above from what usually you get charged for a airfare from Australia to Portugal. So this is to say that, of course, and what airlines demand and what they claim is that the cost of running costs, fuel, etc., are some of the factors that are influencing the price of fares, but also the high demand. There is high demand. And we know that everyone is very eager to fly, everyone is eager to go on holidays, and sometimes some of them they may be happy to do that sacrifice and pay these higher prices. However, in the long run, and we know with other factors that are now influencing everything that we do, such as high inflation rates, and for example, in Australia, the rise of interest rates, people are struggling because of high cost of living, because of their mortgages going up, the rents are going up, and obviously when you are struggling to pay your bills, you start cutting costs. And when you cut costs, you first start on the non-essential goods, on things that are obviously non-essential to your living. And obviously a trip overseas would be the first one to be cut. Airlines, in my view, will see that, and in the course of 2023 things will stabilize because they will see that if this trend continues, eventually with the high inflation, with the interest rates going up and high cost of living, the demand will start dropping because people will start cutting all those non-essential goods, all those non-essential purchases. And I believe that will eventually stabilize the pricing. The same in the aviation perspective, I think all the issues that they had, for example, with staff all the issues that they had with the restart of the business. Obviously, some airlines went down, and it's very sad. Others withdraw. We know I wrote an article at the end of last year about Virgin Atlantic withdrawing from Hong Kong. That was expected. That is also always expected with something as serious as a pandemic. But I believe 2023 will be a year of stabilization in all aspects for aviation. More routes will be open, more frequency will start happening, and with that will obviously lead to more offer to meet the demand, and that also the more offer will drop down the pricing, and things will start slowly going back to a more normal situation. I believe that is the trend for 2023. We cannot keep on going the way we are, otherwise the industry will suffer in the end, because once people start really cutting costs, aviation will suffer again, and it's something that the industry does not want. We already suffered 2 years of massive disruption. If we going to keep going on that path, it's going to be disastrous for the sector. So they need to think ahead of things, and they need to look at the bigger picture, which I believe this is one of the sectors that always does that, and they need to rethink the way they're doing things at the moment. And I think one of the things that will be looked at, it would be the pricing, and it will be the frequency of flights, etc., etc. If the situation is stable in terms of the pandemic, if the new variants that may occur, if there's not major breakouts everywhere that will eventually lead to more restrictions, which I don't think it will happen, I think the trend will be for a slow going back to normal, and in terms of flights, in terms of flight pricing, in terms of also in terms of frequency of flights, and in terms of offer. The airlines will start flying to more destinations as soon as they become more available. More countries will open up for tourism and things like that, and that will lead to more routes, and that will lead to more airlines to come on board, and that will increase competition, which is always good. Even in the domestic market, and I'm talking now about Australia because it's the only market that I know well because I live here, we are also experience high demand and high pricing as well. I believe that will also trend to go down with in the course of 2023 for the exact same reason. We also have a new stakeholder coming into place, which is Bonza. I've been writing about them, and I believe I've done a few gadget reports about them as well. I've read now an article. They have the green light from CASA, so they will be starting operations soon. They are not in direct competition, for example, with Qantas, because they don't fly the major destinations in Australia. They fly regional. But what I think Bonza will bring to the table, and that I think is very positive, is that they offer these other routes that may have not been considered otherwise, and that will offer people other options, and they may look into that. They create competition outside the competition. They're not in direct competition with Qantas or Jetstar or Virgin Australia. They're not in direct competition with the big ones, but they are competition to the big ones because they offer an alternative route, if you like. They offer that alternative, and that may be something that travelers will look into and say, oh wow, why can't I travel to this place? Why can't I travel to that regional area, it must be beautiful. Instead of going to a major center that will probably be crowded, I can go and visit a place that is undiscovered, and I still fly and I still discover Australia that has so many places, so many beautiful places that we haven't seen. And I speak for myself, there's so many things in Australia that I haven't visited yet. And I've been living here for 16 years basically. So you know, it's something that happened to all of us. So I think this is a good thing. I think competition will be a good thing. If more flights become available in every country and more availability is there, that will translate in prices coming down because of competition, and of course the demand will be there. And if prices go down, the demand, even though the high cost of living is still there, and unfortunately it looks like it will stay still for a while, we will see that people will be still eager to go on a holiday. But obviously, if the trend keeps on going up in terms of pricing, that won't be possible. And airlines know that, and I'm pretty sure they'll do something to fix that. So now I'm challenging myself to do a video in December and commenting on this one. I hope I'm right. And that's all for today. If you like this analysis of mine, please leave a comment below. Or if you totally disagree and you have another idea, please do leave a comment below. You know how much I love a good discussion, and I believe that is from the exchange of ideas that we all grow and that we all learn. So if you really have another idea, if you think that what I've said here today it's wrong, that I'm not right on my analysis, and you would like to add something, please do. I'll be very happy to answer you and to keep the discussion going. Why not? Again, if you have any suggestion for anything that you would like me to talk about in 2023 in this gadget report, just leave a comment below. I will be very happy to take it on board. And of course, you know, the usual, put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new gadget report every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next week to talk gadgets, of course. So have a good one. See you then. Bye.